If you're finished now, notice your level of peace or satisfaction rise afterwards, compared to before you started cleansing and healing. And that's a good thing. Now, even if this exercise brought up some strong emotional responses in you, that's perfectly fine. All of your emotions are valid. And you're still moving forward into healing and cleansing. Notice how that fire still burns brightly as you continue to gaze into the flames, captivated by the dance and flicker of the flames, changing direction here and there, how the heat and crackling of the fire brings comfort in a really good way that only fires can do. Fires can transform and transmute energies. To destroy and transform whatever needed to change has already begun to change for the better. If you perhaps had the friendly company of a familiar face with you, you can thank them and bid them goodbye. And if you are sitting by the fire in solitude, that's fine too. Slowly just begin to shift your awareness from that place in your imagination back to where you are now lying down, and just remain in a relaxed, focused awareness for now. And I want you to consider this rather curious question as you're lying on your bed or sofa. What are you made of? When you think of yourself or your body, you might tend to think of flesh and bone, of course, as it would be quite a normal response to such a question. But what other substance or energy makes up who you are? What else is there beyond that the eyes cannot see, but we feel is there? It's very rare that people ever stop and ask this question, only once in a while. And I know you know this answer intellectually and perhaps say that beyond that there are molecules and then atoms and then smaller particles still. And all that would be true. Yet can you reach an internal knowing where you can ask that question from a place of emotion, from the heart? Because isn't it rather strange that while you could be feeling a range of emotions and such, it doesn't alter the notion that your body is made of the same substance as the bed or sofa that you're lying on. And yet it's just an object. It can feel nothing. While you know you have a conscious and unconscious mind. And you can think and process information, but the object can do no such thing. And yet, you're made of the same stuff. And you're very much alive. And you can feel so many things, so many positive things. And you might think that it's such a strange thing to say because, after all, what do particles and empty space in between, for that matter, have to do with emotions or healing? And what difference does it make to you right now that underneath it all it's all energy and information, vibrational frequency making things appear solid, like a great illusion? And whatever holds everything together in the same pattern, so it doesn't drift apart, is also holding you together in the same pattern, so you're feeling solid. And while that's all very interesting to ponder, it's also kind of a relief, one less thing to do. But what's the bigger question? How did you end up in this pattern? And if you don't like it, you can change it, can you not? You can change it when you understand that to overcome emotional hurt, especially if it's a pattern that keeps repeating over and over in different ways, it's helpful to understand that what's keeping you stuck in this pattern also has an energy and vibration and information. And so here we are in a certain vibration, but of course it can change. Just like everything in nature has its own rate of energetic vibration, so too your emotions have their own rate of vibration. And while strong positive emotions and strong negative emotions are at opposite ends of the same continuum, consciously choosing better thoughts over time and making better decisions over time, your emotions also become more positive and you naturally get pulled upwards, higher and higher. And it's in this space that you find yourself healed, more positive about your future, and ready to give and receive love again, if that is your wish, of course. There are things that you see and things you don't see. There are things you feel and things you don't feel. Some of the things that you can feel but not see are bonds or attachments between people. And you don't see it, but you can certainly feel like there is something still there. It's not just in your mind because it's a kind of energy, but not the kind you want. It's possible that over time you may have formed some bonds or attachments to a certain person that hold you back from healing. These attachments are energetic attachments, sometimes called energetic cords or invisible cords. By not cutting away and releasing these cords, you can become bound to a pattern of negative emotions and beliefs. And you can become bound to a certain person in a way that is not helpful to you. You may have heard about invisible bonds between a mother and her children, how a mother knows something instinctively. And that would be an example of a positive spiritual and emotional bond. When you're in an emotional relationship with someone, you form a bond that you can also think of as a spiritual bond or attachment, through which you give and receive love on a soul level. And in normal healthy relationships, these attachments are beautiful and wholesome. But in a relationship that is toxic and anything other than wholesome and loving on both sides, a different kind of energetic attachment forms that is negative and draining to you. If the relationship is severed in heartbreak or anger, the cords still remain attached and your emotional energy is left bleeding, no longer receiving love. Your thoughts and emotions still influenced by the other person, now becoming negative and toxic to you, until the cords are consciously severed. So it's important to remove these cords and attachments, to free yourself emotionally and energetically, to reclaim your sovereignty and strength, to no longer repeat negative patterns of the past, to be completely free of the past. And even if you choose to remain friends with this person, cutting the energetic cords doesn't have to mean severing contact with that person. It simply means no longer choosing to be drained emotionally or investing emotionally, but more of a release from the flow of negative energy that you've been sending to the other person and freeing yourself from the emotional pain. To cut these energetic cords now, although you can't see them physically because they are etheric, you'll imagine them as thick strands of energy or thick ropes attached between you and the other person. And since most likely you can only see the cords in your imagination, however you need to imagine them will work just fine for you. I'd like to give you some options that you can work with. All you need to do is choose what would work best for you. So I'll just explain that some people like to call upon their spirit guides to watch over them and to assist in removing these energetic or etheric cords. Some people like to call upon the energy of angels or archangels, but that might not be for everybody. It's also understandable that not everybody can align with that. So if that doesn't work for you, or if it doesn't fit into your belief system, just know that you can do the same thing using your own powerful mind and visualization or imagination to assist you as you follow my directions, like a kind of empowering do-it-yourself mental exercise. Once again, using your intuition, directing your focus inwards to the quieter, deeper part of you, or calling out to your spirit guides or angels or archangels, whatever choice you decided on. You're going to either ask them to remove and release any and all negative cords of attachment that do not serve your higher purpose, or you're going to imagine pulling away any cords yourself, or cutting them away or breaking off any cords using your wonderful imagination, removing any cords that are not in alignment with love and wholeness, any cords that are holding you back or holding you in a pattern of negative emotions. You can create your own visualization of that happening, or repeat your own mantra several times, saying something like, I now remove any and all negative cords and attachments that are not in alignment with love and wholeness and my true self. You can say after me, I now remove any and all negative cords and attachments that are not in alignment with love and wholeness and my true self. If you're asking for assistance from higher beings, then you can say, I now call upon my angels or guides to please remove any and all negative cords and attachments that are not in alignment with love and wholeness in my soul. You can say after me, I now call upon my angel or guides to please remove any and all negative cords and attachments that are not in alignment with love and wholeness in my soul. And while the cords are falling away with the assistance, or while you are doing the task yourself of pulling or breaking them away, cutting them off however you want to, removing or dissolving them from your etheric body, ask that you are surrounded in divine white light to protect and heal you during this process and assist your healing. As you ask it, you bring it down to you. Ask for protection from any future attachments. Ask for assistance in raising your vibrations so that in future you do not attract any more negative attachments. Now, some people have difficulty conceptualizing a white light around them. So if that's you, you can just imagine standing under a column of white light that completely covers your body and immediate surroundings in the brightest white light. And you can say, I invite the divine white light to protect me and heal me while I'm removing negative cords and attachments, and also keep me protected from any future attachments or any other attachments while I'm learning to become strong and whole again. And I'll repeat it slower so you can follow along. I invite the divine white light to protect me and heal me while I'm removing negative cords and attachments, and also keep me protected from any future attachments or any other attachments while I'm learning to become strong and whole again. Now from this position that you're in, however you are is fine, imagine a column of white light shining down on you. Imagine that it can shine straight into you, coming in from the top of your head, filling your body completely, lighting up any dark corners. This light is your source energy. It is love itself. It has many names, chi or ki or prana. It's your unlimited supply. You already have it in you. It's your life force. You don't need anyone's permission to receive from this supply.